All right, so welcome everybody. My name's Ashley Romano. I'm the Chief Experience Officer here for CareRite Centers. Today we're with our Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Familusi. Dr. Familusi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Ashley. How are you today?
I'm wonderful, thank you. We have so many employees always asking us questions about the vaccination for COVID-19. So today we pulled together so many of the FAQs, the frequently asked questions, to ask you to get your advice and your answers for everyone that's been asking. So it's okay with you? We're going to go ahead and start with those questions.
Yes, I'm ready.
The first question that we often get is, what is the CDC?
CDC is the Center for Disease Control, and that is the entity that is a federally regulated, run entity that controls all the information and everything that happens in terms of any disease control in the country.
What's in the COVID-19 vaccine?
The COVID-19 vaccine is an mRNA vaccine that was started or invented or produced to prevent everyone from getting the disease called COVID-19. The vaccine itself was developed specifically to target the COVID-19 infection.
Thank you so much, Doc. And another question that we always get is, can I get COVID-19 from the vaccine?
No, you cannot get COVID-19 from the vaccine. The vaccine is not from a live virus, so you cannot get any COVID infection from being vaccinated.
How long did it take to create the COVID-19 vaccine?
It takes an average 3 to 6 years of research and development to produce any vaccine. However, with the Operation Warp Speed and the significance of this disease at the pandemic level, the resources were aggressively directed to be able to produce this vaccine, test it, and get it to those that need it within approximately 9 months. That is unprecedented, and it is only made possible because there was no outside money involved. This was taken over and done only with the help of the United States government that made sure that everything and all the resources that was needed to produce this vaccine was made possible. So it was rapidly produced, tested, made sure that it was safe, and then it was given an emergency use authorization so that everybody can be protected.
So Doc, a question that we often get, and there's a lot of hesitation behind the vaccine, is, will the COVID-19 vaccine make me sick?
Well, COVID-19 vaccine is an mRNA type of vaccine that's supposed to stimulate your immunity to start producing, to start getting ready to fight any infection. So a portion, when it gets into your system, it kind of, the first dose stimulates a very minimal response. So you may get a little bit of an ache at the site of injection. That is all that you get with the first dose. The second dose, because the first dose has produced some immunity to this disease, so the second dose makes it a little bit much kind of a higher response. And those responses usually do not last more than 24 hours. And it can be just fever, body ache, with a little bit of Tylenol, a couple of more trains, you get over it pretty quickly. But it is never like the symptom and signs of COVID-19 itself.
Thank you so much, Doc. Will the vaccine alter your DNA? That's another question that a lot of people were asking us.
So the answer is no. Evidence as of today does not show that that vaccine gets into your DNA and alter it in any form of fashion. So it is very safe. And to say the least, if all living presidents, okay, all living United States presidents and all living United States governors have taken the vaccine, you can imagine how safe it is. So that's one thing that we need to consider.
That's great, Doc. Another question that we get often is, do I still need to wear a mask if I'm vaccinated?
Absolutely. You need to wear mask even after you got vaccinated. Why? Because it is still possible for you to spread the disease even after being vaccinated, or to catch the disease after being vaccinated.
Another question that we get often, Dr. Familusi, is if I already had COVID-19, should I now get vaccinated?
Yes, you should. Within when you get COVID virus, you're supposed to be isolated or quarantined for about 10 to 14 days. After 10 to 14 days, you are eligible to get vaccinated, first and second dose. And the reason for that is it double boosts your immunity so that you will not get, or if you ever get another disease, it will be very, very mild. So it is important, even if you had the disease, to make sure you get vaccinated.
Thank you so much, Doc. And some of our team members had asked if they've never received vaccinations before, will anything differently happen to them with the COVID-19 vaccine? And is it dangerous for them to go ahead and make this their first vaccination?
It is never dangerous to get vaccinated at any point in time. And the risk versus benefit is so enormous. All those diseases that there were vaccines that were developed against before, some of them are developed with the actual virus that are killed and attenuated, but this one does not contain any virus at all. So technology has come a long way, and we've improved the way we do things a long way. So this is actually a more safer vaccine compared to what has obtained in the past. So yes, you should consider to get vaccinated immediately.
Dr. Familusi, so many of our employees were asking us about a booster vaccine for the future. Will we need a booster? And if so, why?
So there are studies going on right now to determine whether the level of immunity drops to a great extent for us to need additional booster. Over the few months, it's like any antibody. The body produces the antibody, gets rid of it. And at some point, if it is determined that we need a booster, it's probably going to be within 6 to 9 months of the last dose. But this week, or the coming week, the CDC will be determining whether there is going to be any booster dose that is needed for the future.
One of the biggest questions that we've been getting is about infertility. So are there any infertility issues with getting the vaccine? And if I'm already pregnant, can I go ahead and get the vaccine?
There is no known activity or side effect of infertility. The pregnant women are actually advised to get vaccinated because the risk of not being vaccinated is not it's very, very high when you're pregnant with the baby. So you really want to get protected. It is very important to get vaccinated when you are pregnant.
Is the vaccine safe for children? And do you think that they will have worse side effects than adults?
The vaccines at this point is approved for children 12 years and above. So it is very safe, and they are not getting more symptoms when they get vaccinated compared to the adult. It is still the same body ache, a little bit of fever that occurs with every individual that gets the vaccine.
What is the Delta variant, and does the COVID-19 vaccine protect you against it?
The Delta variant came out of India and is now spreading across the entire world. It is more deadly than the first COVID-19 virus. It is easily spread. It is very contagious. So this one is packed with larger power compared to the previous one. So it is very important for us to make sure that we get vaccinated, because if you get vaccinated, it doesn't stop you from getting the disease. There is 1 in 26 chances that you may get the disease. If you do not get vaccinated, it is 1 in 13. So it pretty much reduces your risk from the disease for almost 50%. That is just getting infected, okay? Getting sick from being infected is so high if you're unvaccinated versus not being vaccinated. If you're vaccinated, the symptoms can vary from just nothing to cold, fever, but the recovery is pretty good. Yes, we never say never in medicine. There are some who are vaccinated who really got really sick, but they are able to come out of the disease compared to those who are unvaccinated. So as of today, your chance of survival from Delta virus is very, very high if you're vaccinated versus not vaccinated.
Dr. Familusi, if I've been fully vaccinated and I've now been exposed to someone with COVID-19, should I quarantine? Should I be tested? And what can I do to keep those around me safe?
If you have been vaccinated and you are exposed to somebody who tests positive, exposure is defined as being around somebody who tests positive or within 6 feet of that person for more than 15 minutes. Should that condition occur, you are advised to be tested every 3 to 5 days. And also, you are advised to wear a face mask for the next 14 days inside or outside the house or around any public area to protect the people around you.
Dr. Familusi, how common are breakthrough infections?
Breakthrough infection is what it says. So it means that you've been vaccinated, fully vaccinated, which is defined as 2 weeks after your second shot of either the Pfizer or the Moderna, or after the 2 weeks of the single shot of Johnson & Johnson. If after that you get infected and you get sick from the infection, that is what is called breakthrough infection.
How can I educate others who are not vaccinated?
Every one of us are students for life. So we must continue to educate ourselves, harm ourselves with information, try to avoid disinformation. Let's start with that. Let's avoid disinformation. Let's give appropriate information that will allow our loved one make the right decisions. That means that we must know what we're talking about. We must not just talk about what somebody said. So please, let's educate ourselves and then attempt to convince any of our loved ones, a family, or co-workers that this is very important. The key is, if you get vaccinated today, you stand less risk than not being vaccinated. So that's just it's that simple. And in order to protect everyone else, we have to continue to wear face masks. We have to continue to make sure that if we're sick, we take responsibility. We should not be going to work if we have fever, we have body ache, we're sneezing, we're coughing. We need to stay home. Let's start with that, okay? And after that, let's make sure that every single time we come into the facility, we test ourselves. And during our shift, if anything should be happening, we need to isolate ourselves, we need to leave the facility, and we need to get tested. Those are the ways to protect ourselves. Now, in terms of vaccination, I was one of the first to get vaccinated. And not getting vaccinated is really not an option for us in order to protect ourselves, our family, the resident that has been entrusted into our care. We love them so much. We want to protect them. We love ourselves and our co-workers very much. We want to protect every one of us. So please get vaccinated. Don't be shy about it. Feel free to speak up. If you know anybody that's not vaccinated, attempt to convince them. Tell them what you know about it. Tell them how you feel. Tell them to do it for you, even if they don't want to do it for themselves.
Beautiful, Doc. And on our Instagram page, you can always drop into our messages if you have questions for Dr. Familusi. We'll be sharing them directly with him. CareRite Centers, we're now still running a campaign for vaccinations for you, for me, for one another. And we're proud that we're always giving away raffles and prizes to our team members that have been vaccinated both yesterday and today. And it's something that we're very proud of. So thank you so much, Doc.
Thank you, Ashley.